Hello and welcome to this short video. I'm Frank Jenin, founder and CEO of Ormetis, and today I'm going to show you how Ormetis Professional Edition can help you migrate your data from one system in one format to another system in another format. Let's look at the product. Let's say that I want to migrate my existing data into a new CRM, Customer Relationship Management system. So I need data from HR, I need data from accounting, and probably I'm going to get all that information in various files, various formats, and I have to find a way to put them in one consistent format. That's where Ormetis come into play, and we'll see how to do it. So let's focus on salespeople here. I'm going to combine the list of salespeople I have into one consistent format. I've asked my team in the UK to send me the list of people that work there, and I got one file which I'm opening in Ormetis, and then I asked people in Australia to do the same. So I have two files that are similar but not exactly the same, and I want to combine them. In Ormetis, it's as simple as dragging and dropping the files. Now I have one consistent format for both files. To show you that those files were actually different, I'm going to go back in time. To do that, I'm going to use a feature called the scenario. In Ormetis, the scenario is the list of steps on the right, and it's used as both an audit trail and a way to reapply the same transformation to new data. Here I'm just using it to go back in time. So if I look at my files at that step, I realize that the order of the columns were different. Last name, first name, last name, first name. But also that there were more columns in the Australian files than in the UK file. But I made no difference to Ormetis when that was merged. It was all merged in one single step. Let me show you something else that was done automatically by Ormetis. If you look carefully, you see that the dates at the top use the European format, that's day, month, year, while the dates at the bottom use the American format, month, day, year. If you're not careful when combining dates, you could get into trouble. I mean, is 9/11 the fall of the Berlin Wall or the attack on the Twin Towers? Well, it completely depends on the context. In Ormetis, we do that automatically by detecting the regional setting of the file. As you can see, the dates that were American were converted to European format so that we have a single format for the entire view. Now that I have combined those two files, I'm going to do the same for files in the US. The difference is that for the US team, they are organized by city, so I get one file for each city, which is not really the way I want it. I want to have all those information in one single format. So instead of importing the files one by one, which is going to take some time, I'm going to import the folder instead. And when I do that, I get what I call a three-dimensional view, where I have rows, columns, and slices. And the slices are actually the files, each file having its own content on the right. The advantage is that now I can just ungroup that information and I'll get a flat view of all those files. So my 20 people in the US are now in one single view. And again, I just have to migrate that and merge it with the one at the top. Let's focus on something else now. As you may have noticed, each sales representative has some codes attached to it. Okay, they're called SIC codes, which is a way of classifying industries. So for each industry, there is a unique number that I can use. So here I know that Amber is actually selling to 2 different industries, while John is selling to 3 different industries, etc. The problem is that format is not really usable by my CRM system. So I need to find a way to produce a file where each row would have a single SIC code. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to group that information in Ormetis. So I select the 4 columns that I want to group. And then what I get is for each slice a list of SIC code that are unique to that person. But really they're not in the right shape. What I want is that information as a list. So I'm going to rotate it so I can see it vertically. And now I see that for each slice I have a list of SIC code. Let's give a name to that column. We'll call that SIC. And also because I don't always have 4 industries for each salesperson, I have some blank values. I want to get rid of them. So let's remove empty rows. Now for each row, I have 2, 1, 3, 4, whatever number of SIC code that salesperson is related to. What I really want is 1 row in my file for each SIC code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup and I used to have 28 rows, and if I ungroup I get to 48. That's because each salesperson may sell to more than 1 industry. So now I have for each salesperson the industry they sell to. For instance, Amber is selling to those 2 industries, while John is selling to 3 different industries. But I don't know yet what they mean, and I need that in my CRM system, so I'm going to use a different file, which is provided by the government, that is the actual list of codes and their explanation. Okay, so for instance, 1000 is metal mining. So what I really want is get that information and link it to that one, which is as simple as drag and drop. So now for each salesperson, I have the industry they're in, and I don't need that SIC code anymore. So I'm just going to remove it. And I'm going to export that file as text, because that's what my CRM system is going to read as an input. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can reach us at www.ormetis.com.